I need to go get my.
The Donna Smith Show. On the Donna Smith Show. Y'all. And this is how we do it. And this is how we do it. Yeah, how y'all doing? How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here on a cold Monday night. Glad to see you here. Welcome, Cordell, John, and Gareth, and Lady D. We are here right now until we see who else comes by to say hi.
There we go.
We are here to do some grown folk talk and discussion. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you for being here today after Christmas. I know that is a really sluggish, hard day for everybody, but I appreciate you showing up, being here. And I want my viewing audience and the panel to know that anything we discuss and do and say and talk about is not meant to offend anyone. We are just having some grown folk table talk and having some fun doing it. And that's just how it is, you guys. And I want to welcome you. Before we get started, it's time for our toast to the hostess time. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Where your glasses at? John, Cordell, you.
Yes, ma'am.
What? Where your water bottle, Cordell? Where your something?
How about a bottle? Right? I got a bottle.
Oh, shoot, snap. Is that Sky?
No.
Oh, Bailey's. Okay, what you mixing with that?
Coffee.
Oh, you put that in your coffee and that's fine, whatever it is. You know, I don't care, whatever y'all got going on. It could be water, it could be, Gareth, you got
water.
You got water, ice cold water. John got along with his hat, I don't know what he got, but
tea.
What he got is
me.
I got eggnog, you guys. Okay, click, clank, 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 click, click, all over the place.
Baileys? You want some Baileys in that eggnog? So you want some Baileys in that eggnog?
That probably would taste really good. You know that? I used to have that Baileys in they used to have what you call it? Brandy separator.
Right.
Where it would have the brandy, Kahlua, and milk.
Yeah.
And I would get that. Actually, it was a really good taste. I used to like that. And so I had gotten a bottle of that from Costco one year, and I just would pour it in. I put some milk and a little brandy in that and made my little thing at home, and it was actually pretty good.
I got some brandy too.
See, it's that holiday time. I just want to ask you guys, Merry Christmas. First, I want to tell you Merry Christmas, and I want to ask you, how was your Christmas, everyone? Did you have a wonderful Christmas?
Yeah, I had a good one.
You had a good one, Gareth?
Yeah, it was
Christmas.
Yeah. John, yours was okay?
Baby Jesus' birthday.
Yes, that's right. How about you, Cordell?
It was okay.
It was okay? You do anything special?
Nothing special.
Nothing special.
Watched a lot of basketball.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors got down.
Yeah.
And then you know, Christmas is like for kids, you know, you just try to, you know, I trimmed it down this year, but I still ended up finding myself having quite a few little gifts I had in the bag to take over to my daughter's house. And I say, now, how was I supposed to be trimming it down? And I still had a couple of bags of stuff, and they was waiting on me to get there. Nah, you know, and I didn't get there until like after 2, but they were waiting on me.
You being grandma, that's what grandmas do.
Man, they were waiting. Let me tell you. I'm like, y'all, I had told everybody, I said, y'all, I want you to know it's going to be different this year. It ain't going to be all that hoo-ha-ha now. but it was different to a certain extent because I cut down a little bit and I did a couple of things more online this time to keep me from being all in the midst of that stuff. But I did go in the stores a couple of times. I didn't stay long. I kind of already knew what I wanted. But they're pretty fierce out there in them stores during this time. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where all them people got their money from. They must have got their little stimulus checks or whatever, because I didn't get one. Mine didn't come. I don't know where they had money from, but folks was out here spending like they had some money.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they really was. And I'm like, what is going on? And people was actually stealing packages too. You had to be careful ordering. You know, I was away at the store and I had gotten a notification that a package was delivered. So I stopped what I was doing just to come home, get the package and take it in the house because I've been seeing a lot of little videos. I'm on like Next Door and I look on there in my area and you know they tell you what's going on and this and that, and they have had people complaining about packages being stolen and mail and stuff like that. So I stopped what I was doing to go and take my package in the house, and they had a lot of people on camera that they just pull up in their little car, come up to your porch, they see a box, grab it, get back in their car and leave.
Like they made it work.
It's just crazy. But other than that, it's been all good. You guys have anything to share? Anything interesting that happened in your week or outside of Christmas? You know, anything special or different you've done, or maybe you got an unexpected Christmas surprise or something, or anything? No?
Nope.
Same old ha
Uh-huh.
ha ha. Cordell's like ha ha ha. Same old, same old. Huh?
I just looked under the bed and I didn't see no surprises.
You didn't see no surprise under the bed. Ain't that something? Well, let me see. I got a couple of gifts downstairs that I haven't opened yet, so I was surprised by a few things that came my way, and I was like, wow, okay. But I haven't did anything with opening up anything or anything like that, but it was just a surprise to get a couple of little things. And to me, it's not about it's I see Christmas more for children and kids and this and that, but I think that we should come together and show love and joy all through the year. I did have a debate with somebody about, they were talking about Christmas and Jesus not being born in the winter, but in the summertime. And so we had a little lightweight discussion about that. So they were saying that the December 25th is a pagan celebration. And, the shepherds were, grazing in the field and watching their flocks watching their flocks in the field. And that's usually not in the winter time during the time Jesus was born. That's usually in the spring, summertime, fall. And so they were debating the fact that no one really knows. The Bible does not indicate what day actually Jesus was born on. If anybody have anything to say to that, I'm open to it. I don't get too deep into the religious type of debates, or we're not trying to beat each other up or you're right, you're wrong. But it was just interesting having that topic. As far as I grew up being taught and know of and learned is that Jesus was born in December 25th. They do say that cattle doesn't graze in the winter time with the grass and stuff like that, and It's a lot of controversy behind it. I don't know. John, you have anything to say about that, or you want to leave that one alone?
No, I got a lot to say about it, but I'm not. I'll say a little. People, it's a representation. It's just a day that has been set aside to acknowledge the birth. It's not his birth. It's not none of that. It's just a day set aside. See, pagans would not set aside a day to acknowledge Christ. Let's be clear. They're pagans. So
Right.
why would they set a day?
Why would they set a day? I don't know. I mean, also they were saying that the Christian tradition says that, Mary was told that she have a very special baby Jesus, called the Annunciation, and she was told that around March 25th. So exactly 9 months after that was December 25th. That was one of the things that was mentioned, but like I said, it doesn't specifically say in the Bible the day, you know. So I'm just interested to hear what other people have to
I'm
say.
up here talking and I was on mute. Look, they weren't dealing with no January, February, March, April, May. Okay. They were dealing with days. They were dealing with they dealt with like celestial time when the moon or whatever. So it wasn't no March nothing, and then all this when the conception. Just folks just need to understand the day is just set aside just to acknowledge his birth. That's all. We ain't saying that he was born on that day. We ain't saying it was it. Hey, he could have been born in February. Okay?
Mhm.
But it's just a day set aside, acknowledging the day.
So the December 25th, you're saying, is acknowledging the day.
It's just taking time to acknowledge the day Christ was born. It ain't on his birth. Look, it ain't on his birth certificate. December 25th is not on the birth certificate. It's not at the registry. Because remember, they had to go to Nazareth to register, right? Okay, it's not on the registry that he was born on the 25th. It's just a
Right.
day of acknowledgement. We acknowledge a lot of things on other days that ain't got
Well,
nothing to
they
do with
said
it.
that Jesus' parents came to Bethlehem to register in a Roman census, right? And that the winter would be very difficult time to travel to do that from Nazareth to Bethlehem, which was about 70 miles. So that's one of the arguments of, it not being him not being born in the winter per se. And very strongly stating that it's just a specified pagan day that was brought up. So I don't, as far as I understand and was taught, it was the December 25th. I was just interested to know if you guys had anything different to share or say about that.
Even
But
in seminary, they don't teach no December 25th is the birth date. So I don't know where some people who are putting this down saying, "Oh, we acknowledge." So we say we were taught, but it was just we were taught to take that day and acknowledge the birth. But as saying it, there's nowhere in there that has this whatever, and they want to deal with the traveling during the time. If, you know, is really going to area that really goes by some deeper studying of their DNA, taking and saying, oh, this or that or whatever. It's looking at the language, looking at the Greek, looking at the timeline, looking at what was going on. Because even like for
John, you muted.
I set this thing on the keyboard and muted. The thing is, our ancestors use events and everything. They would say, "Oh, when so and so was born, blah 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 happened," or this storm, the certain storm was when so and so got married. They use these things, and a lot of so. You really have to go in and look at events and look at times if you want to try to come to a narrowization of when he was actually born. But the importance, the time that's spent around that, we already know it's not recorded. But then I asked, what really is the importance? Taking the time to acknowledge, no matter what day you put it on, or trying
Right.
to, oh, no, I was right. He was born April 26th. Okay, and
Well, they're saying summer or spring. They're
yeah,
saying
it's
summer or early fall. And so that's why some are saying they don't celebrate Christmas December 25th because it's a pagan made up day and they don't believe in pagan, holidays. So therefore, they're not going to do their celebration in December. I don't know
wow.
when they do their celebration, you
Mhm,
know, after the fact. I wasn't told that, but
mhm.
it's
But this is what's so funny though. Oh my God.
what
Um,
what happened?
no, I'm how can I'm still go back if we just use common sense or whatever, or how do pagans line up with Christ, period?
Well, it doesn't.
Okay, now, so pagans doesn't line up with Christ, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so then why again would pagans set a date to the side to acknowledge Christ?
Say that again.
Why would hell celebrate Christ's birthday? How about that? Why would hell celebrate the birth of Christ?
Hmm.
So why would pagans set a day and say, this is the day that Christ was born? Why would they do that? And we should celebrate his birth. Just common sense. Why would they do that? It's not that complicated. And folks is making argument tomato tomato, okay? It's just it's a waste of time. We do this every year. It's every time. They slowly, you see them slowly creeping the Christmas tree back in. Pay attention to the commercials. They slowly creeping it back in. But it was amazing how the tree, a,
Hmm.
a tree, how it was such an issue. But the Hanukkah candle, the candles stayed up, and the prayer flags and everything else stayed around. You know, it's just something for folks to. Humans are argumentative people.
Hmm.
This is why you have this show, and we debate about stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's true. And
Come on. What is the importance in trying to pinpoint the deadline? We ain't at no carnival. Okay, I'll guess your birthday. If I don't guess your birthday, you get this stuffed animal. Seriously? Come on.
yeah, it was just a topic that was brought up, and it's usually a topic that people bring up. I hear it um, more often than not, usually around this time. And you have those who want to express why they don't celebrate Christmas in December. And their whole argument is behind the shepherds and the December being a controversy month, and sheep graze in the spring and all that. You hear a whole lot of different you know
They stopped celebrating Christmas when their parents stopped buying them Christmas presents. That's when they stopped. They stopped wearing costumes when they stopped trick or treating. They stopped collecting eggs, so they stopped doing Easter. Cut it out. And Easter, so what day was it? Because Easter moves all over the calendar. So it don't never be on the same day
Yeah,
of the calendar. It moves all over. So give me a break. It's an acknowledgement.
yeah.
Come on. When is Mickey Mouse birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, they celebrated at Disney World.
Well, I guess some would say it's an acknowledgement, but why do we pick December 25th?
Everything else was taken. Thanksgiving was in this November. We had Halloween in October, and we dare not celebrate Christ in the month of evil. And then you got Labor Day, you got 4th of July, you got Father's Day in June that nobody acknowledges. Then you got Mother's Day in May. Then we playing around in Easter in March. They kind of playing with each other. April and March is playing with each other for Easter.
Yeah.
Then you got February, and they gave us that, so we can't squeeze. They only gave us 28 days in February, so we can't squeeze Christ in there. And then January, we
Each
just
month
got.
has its own little
In
situation.
January, you got President's Day. It used to be everybody's birthday. We was just out of school in January, really. And then they just made it President's Day because they had to make room for Martin Luther King's birthday. So we got December. Cut it out.
Okay.
When your birthday? When your birthday, Cordell? He had no room in that month.
Halloween, man.
Cordell is the
I think October.
last day of October.
I think
Okay.
October.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had your birthday. Yeah, so okay, come on.
Yes,
Okay.
when is your birthday?
November.
Oh, you November. Okay.
Yeah,
November.
yeah. And I still don't believe they sat down there and broke bread with some Indians either. And they still on reservations. Hello.
Yeah.
What year is this? And we still have these reservations. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's something.
Let's
Well,
talk
I just
about
thought
it.
I'd bring that up because that was an interesting conversation that this person ran by me with their
Oh
reasoning
my God.
behind we all being misled
Yeah.
and whatever the word is I'm trying to say. We are all being misled and celebrating on the wrong day, and we're just wrong and blah blah. And I try not to get really caught up. I try to just look in factual, and no, it doesn't specify what day actually Christ was born in the Bible that I have seen or know of. But there's a couple of little things that we can pinpoint that, and John has brought up a few.
Hey, Cordell.
Yes, sir.
Some people birthday be on the 12th and they be celebrating all the way into the 20 something.
Yeah.
So what that mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
got me there. Some people say, "Hey, I'm celebrating the entire month of my birthday." Well, what month is that? It's January, February, March. My birthday. That's it. So
Some of them do. Some of them
you
black down the whole month. It's like
have a quarter.
yeah, some
Yeah.
do, and it's like okay, wow. But that was a hot topic to start off the show with to talk about, and everybody we can move on. Nobody has anything to share. Everybody's good. Everybody had a good Christmas. Everybody has nothing to really throw out there that different, interesting. Nothing like that right now.
I got
Okay.
a question.
Uh-huh.
There's something that happened to me, but I know times have changed. So when I was a kid, my mom got floods of Christmas cards. And you know what? I know we're in 2022 going into 2023. Is Christmas cards a thing of the past?
No, they're
Is
not.
Did you get a Christmas card?
I got a few,
Okay.
but I used to get a whole bunch of them. So what I do now, Cordell, is I will send out a card to those who send me a card. If
Oh,
you
so-
give me a card, I send you a card. I used to go down my whole, you know, the people that I
Your
deal
old
with.
contacts was your phone book, right?
Yeah, I would go down the phone. Oh, let me send Aunt such so. Let me send, and I would get back 3 cards, maybe. You know, so I just say, okay, I'll give a card to those who think about me during this season and give me a card, and that's how I do. So you're saying because you didn't get any cards this year?
No, I got a few. I was kind of shocked, you know. I didn't think another, but it was just a shock because the day and age of electronics, we're getting Christmas cards. So I'm just wondering, am I alone? You know?
I mean, did you appreciate it? Do you
Yeah, I
still
was,
want the
like I
old
said,
school Christmas
I was
cards?
shocked by the gesture. You know, the people that did it was people I've known for a long time, but still, yet I was shocked by the gesture.
Well, nowadays too, you have to take into consideration if it's someone who actually sees you sometime, they will bring you a card. I've done that, just give a person a card, you know, at the time because we don't always have addresses.
Yeah,
So sometimes you don't have that person's address and you don't want to really ask for it because you're trying to make this a little surprise thing. So that, you know, unless the person has your address, they may or may not be mailing you a card. But if they see you, they probably will bring you a card,
yeah.
you know.
Like I said, I was just curious because I just thought it was a thing of the past, you know?
No, it's still a good thing to give a Christmas card. It's still a good thing to give a birthday card. It's, you know, it lets people know. And nowadays, you got the prettiest little cards, even in the dollar store. You can go get some decent cards. And it's just letting a person know you thought of them. You know, my son, he's not, you know, doing too great with finances right now, but the cards that he got me and his sister and the words that he wrote himself in that card move mountains. I mean, it was bigger than any gift that he could have brought in the door and gave me. It was so personable that it outweighed any gift. And I appreciated that, you know, I really did.
Yeah, it's just personal because, you know, this take some thought, take some action. It's not just you know, check the box kind of thing. So it is a personal fulfillment.
And it makes it's personable and it makes it the person actually took some time out of their day, their schedule, and took the time, especially when they get you a card that specifically for you. It didn't come in a box of cards that was the same as the others. They actually picked out this specific card for you. And that's what makes it special too. Um, and I just think for those who have stopped doing it, start back doing it. People love to get cards and to feel as though they were thought about. Not only on the holiday seasons, but just because. Sometimes it's good just to send somebody a little card or I thought about you type of thing just because. You know? Just like we send little texts and we send, you know, we send these little, you know, what do you call them? Messengers and stuff like that. And if you have a person's address or you can reach out and send them some. It's nice to just receive, I thought of you today, a card or something like that in the mail. It's really, really sweet. Not only did they take the time to pick out a card, but they actually put an expensive ass stamp on there too. Because you know the postal service is going up every time you turn around. A book of stamps is no joke nowadays, right?
It's been a while since I mailed a letter.
And you better not have a letter that weighs over a certain amount of such. Then you got to put 2 stamps on it. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. I think John has muted us. He must got something.
No, the thing is sitting. The keyboard. If I touch my keyboard,
Yeah.
it makes it mute.
Oh, okay. I thought you
So
were.
my keyboard it has a split space. It
Mm-hmm.
has a split space bar, and you can program it. So one side of the space bar is programmed to mute because I use it like at work for the team meetings and Zoom meetings and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
say what I gotta say and then hit the thing. I don't get tired of taking the mouse and trying to move it over and hit mute and all that. So I just
Yeah.
hit that side of the space bar. So my phone and something was laying up on it and kind of touched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
I ain't went nowhere. I'm still here.
So what
I
you
know
think about
I ain't
what you
been on
think
camera.
you and Gareth, what do you guys think about cards? Do you think that's outright, like Cordell was saying, is it something that people just don't do anymore for the
No,
holiday?
Not everybody.
Everybody?
he said
Yeah,
not everybody.
Not everybody. Some people still do it, huh?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
do it. I write card and I get blank cards. Like you said,
Yeah.
your son wrote in. I've always gotten blank cards and I've always wrote in there. Now, some cards may have something that is good, some good
Uh-huh.
meat, and I'll still get that card. But you best believe if I have to write in a circle, I'm going to write in that card and say what I'm going to say and how I feel. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my father he would bring cards to my mother just out of the blue. He bring
Mm-hmm.
cards and flowers and she would get that down there on the weekly,
Yeah.
but he always wrote in there. He always wrote in there, wrote how he felt.
Adding that little special
Well, it's
personal.
not adding, I'm not adding to what the card wrote, because really, to how I feel, the card is really should be an addition to what you write.
Right.
The card, it shouldn't be the main representation, you know. And that's
Right.
how, so I may get a card and it may say something, and I'm like, okay, this is actually where I would like to go with this. And then I'll write in there. And then, like I said, if it's good meat, why not share it? You know, if they
Yeah.
whatever's written in the card, and then when it comes down to choosing your cards too, I'm into mahogany cards
Yeah.
and they got another card. It's mahogany, and it's another one called I can't remember the thing. And there are a lot of African American cards and some of the things that they write in there. And you can get Christian cards and stuff. But some of the stuff that's written in there, is good stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're writing like congratulations to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the African American cards are really inspirational to where on the level that we can relate to, you
Yeah,
know.
the African American cards are great. They really are. Um, but it's yeah, I think it's just a
Yeah, I didn't get
personal.
no cards.
It's a personal thing. Oh.
I got a card. They kind of looked like they was writing the wrong name, the first letter, and they kind of scratched it out and then wrote Tim at the top. I said,
Oh.
"Ooh, this," but that be them. You know what them cards are?
What?
That 50 in the box.
Well, we don't.
And there's nothing wrong with that on the thought. But at
It's
least
the
if you're gonna
thought.
do it,
Some
do
people,
it correctly. At
excuse me,
least
some
let it be
people
the
grab a
least.
box. Some people
Yeah,
grab
and
a
that's
box.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong. But at least let it be in your own penmanship at the end there, not just line them up, Mr. President, and just sign.
Yeah, no, they should put a few words in there. They definitely should.
Oh my God! At least say your name
Yeah,
and get it right.
they're supposed to say something. You're right. You're absolutely right. But
But
back to Cordell. Yeah, no, they're not. it's not a thing of the past. It is very much real. People have trimmed it down a little bit, with exchanging cards or sending cards or whatever, but it's still done and it's still appreciated. And, like I say, if somebody send you a card, return it back. Send them a card. Maybe you'll think about them before they even think about you, you know? But
Maybe.
you gotta do fair exchange, right? You gotta, cause some people, like I say, I used to send out a whole list of them and get 3 or 4 back. So I just started just doing it as as need thing. Or if I just think of somebody out of the blue and I have their address, I'll send them a
Something
card.
else.
But if I don't have your
You
address, then
did
I gotta
nothing.
wait
You
till
something
I
else.
see you.
You are just automatic, natural something else.
Huh?
Man, this is something else.
What do you say?
Huh?
What you say?
I said these cards, just I'm just tripping off like it is how things are dwindling, and then how we were talking about the birthday and all. It's just something else.
Yeah. The times have changed. But just because the time is changing don't mean that the person has to change with the times. You can still do what you do
Keep doing.
and still be the sweetie that you are regardless, because nowadays, I mean, I think the younger generation, I don't even think they know nothing about sending cards and stuff. They ain't
Nah.
they gonna send you a text or something. That's it. Oh, Merry Christmas, Mama. Love you. That's it. Even if the dollar store got them for 99 cents a dollar, they ain't
Oh,
going
dollar 25, dollar
dollar
20.
25 now. They not doing all that extra. Why go?
The
Why
dollar
park and
store.
spend gas and get to the dollar store or catch BART or whatever when I can just text Mama or text Daddy or send them a DM,
What's that?
direct messaging.
Oh, my bad.
You're a best. Anyway, moving right along, you guys. Inquiring minds want to know
I
questions of
didn't know
the
what it did.
evening.
Inquiring minds want to know.
It's kind of, it's not that bad. It's a gentle one.
It's a gentle
Okay,
one.
here we go, y'all. Here we go, y'all. Why in today's times are some men more apt to believe that the age range of 50 to 60 is old? Their mindsets are old. Their spunk swag is lopsided. Their ability to thrive has no energy. And their mindset and desire for sex has has something out,
Look at this.
has flown. Okay, has flown out the airplane window.
Oh my God.
What the hell has gone wrong? Today's 50s are truly today's 40s. The last time I checked, age is merely a number. It's the mindset that has folks all effed up. So I guess this person wanted to vent about this 50, 60 old thing about the mindset and what has happened and why are people
Can you say the beginning of that letter? Just the beginning.
why in today's times are some men more apt to believe that the age range 50 to 60 years old is old?
Okay. And then they go on to say the men is this and men. It sounds like somebody's have their observation about men. No, I'm just questioning because for the first start, I would say, why do men think this? But then give this observation. And is it more or less that they think men nowadays at 50 or whatever seem old?
Well,
Sorry.
apparently they've had some experiences with um
Okay.
quite a few men that in that age range or maybe they know of some men that in other, I don't know what their statistical gatherings are, but they're saying that it seems as though they are with the mindset of being old at this particular age range. And
I ain't old.
they're questioning this. Apparently, this is a woman, maybe not, could be a man, but it may be very well a woman who's had some experiences or know of, and is saying that there's men in this bracket that is proclaiming to be old. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Let's help them out. I know it may be more of a specific situation due to them. I mean, I personally, I have heard some men myself speak on even in their late 40s about being old.
Wow.
And
Wow.
acting old.
Wow.
And saying that they're old.
Wow.
I have heard this myself too. So
40 years
I'm
old.
not, but I'm not going to
old.
categorize all men as being that way, because I no, it's not all men. But I have heard, and it has made me question, like, this is still a young man. Why are they on that plane?
My take on it will be a little different, because I'll preface it this way. I'm in my 60s, okay? And I
Looking
hear
good, my brother, looking good.
I hear women say to me that most men in that age group is not looking for a true mate. They're just looking for the hookup. So her argument about talking about men are not, not fulfilling their obligation as old men and tired and run down and this and that and whatnot, got a different to that. Because most men, from what I hear from a woman's point of view, the men are more active than what they should be. So I think that argument might not be a good one to bear. It just seems like the men that she might have encountered got that mindset. Even at 40, most 40 years old, they ain't settled. They're still active. They're still doing that thing.
Right.
So some people would even say, "Guy, you ain't 20 no more. Why are you going out again?" I'm 45 years old. I'm still young. I can have some fun, can I?
Right.
You gotta slow down. You getting older. No, you getting older because you think you're getting older.
Right.
It's a mindset. I think it's really truly a mindset. She probably sees some guys that might be settled that don't want to be more active. But I would hate to say it, but sounds like this person's married. They've been married over 20 years, and they're a little bored with their mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a trip, because it's like you said, it's definitely a mindset. If you're thinking you're old, you're gonna act like you're old. And some would say, they would say, well, act your age. Like you say, you're 45 and you still want to go out and you're still doing risque stuff, and they'll say, well, you need to act your age, that kind of thing. And what they're doing is just living their best life in the way that they live it. They may be healthy, they may be, have a really active, energetic type of demeanor. They may be in shape. It could be a lot of dynamics of them being able to not have that old mindset. So
I just think that this person's really just basing their observation on one encounter with one person and being really generalized with their encounter. But
Yeah.
The average person, even that 45, 50, 60 plus. And they still out and going and doing their thing. They ain't standing still, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they have to, but most cases, no, I gotta go, you know. I'm done working. I got time on my hands. Let's go, you know. Let's get it in. So I think she's got a bad observation on that topic question. She should probably expose herself to more people.
Mm-hmm. Different kinds of people. I don't know if she's just basing it, if it's a she, basing it on her own personal experience, or maybe she's also gotten feedback from other people. I mean, I don't know. Gareth, have you heard younger, 40, 50 years old, 60-year-olds proclaiming to be old? Even females. You get some women who are in that age range and they act like they 99 years old too.
And another women, let me, yeah.
They tell
Yeah.
you you're young or you act
Yeah.
young.
Act young.
Yeah. Cause you probably have that youthful spirit about you. You like to do,
Yeah.
you like to go, you like to have fun.
Yeah.
And are you in your 40s, late 40s or 50s?
I'm in my 50s.
Okay, you look good too. See, you know, it 50 is not old. 60 is not old. It's you in your mindset, you know. So I would say to this person, I don't know what happened to John, but he'll be back.
John is right here. I ain't went nowhere.
Oh, he keeps saying you're muted.
Probably because I keep hitting the thing and I
Okay.
didn't want no other.
Oh, okay. So, you know, it could be her own, some of the word and verbiage she uses,
Ain't nothing.
lopsided and swag, spunk.
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
What in O? What in O?
What'd you say?
What in O? What in O?
1 and O?
No. What in O?
Oh, what is old?
Yeah.
I think that's a personal thing with each individual, because some will say 40, 45 is old. But if they're 20, yeah, that is gonna be old to them. Okay. If you 50, you may start saying old is 75.
You
I
know
don't
what's
know.
funny? I experienced this about a year ago. This is the funniest thing I really had to experience. I was going to BJ's restaurant, and as I got to here in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
When I was going, as I got to the door, this guy said, "Hey, let me get it for you, OG." I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, I'm an OG, really? So I didn't say anything. I just said, "Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate that." So he opened the door for me. But the thing is that I didn't know if he seen me as an old man or old gangster, or he was just acknowledging the fact that he respects me. But in my mindset, I'm saying, hey, I didn't need that, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So as this person says about people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, you know, just slowing down, they're being old, they think they're old, whatever. You know, when the guy said that to me, I didn't think I was old. But to him, I might have been old, because he might have been 25 and he seen me, I might have been, you know, like his dad or something. He just said, hey, I'm over the door for him. He deserves it. You know, he did his time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's all about how you see it, it's your perspective, it's how you approach it. And like I said, it sounds like this person is in a long-term relationship, probably been married 20 plus years, and things has gotten old. That's just my take.
Yeah, could be. And I think the OG was more or less out of respect,
Yeah, I know that,
I
but
mean, you don't look like no old
mindset-
fella.
Yeah,
It probably was the little salt and pepper, maybe a little bit, just a little respect thing. You're OG when you what? I don't know how that goes. Is triple OG, double OG, OG?
I don't know either. But the thing was, it was just a shock. It's like the first time when you might hear somebody say ma'am or sir or whatever, even though it's a sign of respect, you kind of say, really? Am I that old? So,
Yeah, because I know women feel like that sometimes. Some men are just it's just a respectful thing when they call you ma'am and stuff. But I remember when I used to hear ma'am, I'm like, look, I ain't no ma'am. But I noticed like at work, I'm one of the mature women there. So they do call me Miss Donna. If people call me Miss Donna that don't even work with me every day, they'll just come, hey, Miss Donna. And I remember at first I was like, I ain't no Miss Donna. Why they calling me Miss Donna? I'm Donna. I'm Lady D. Y'all just don't know. I'm Lady D, right? But it was, this lady, she just explained to me it's a respect thing. It's just a respect thing. You're a mature woman. We call you Miss Donna. And I mean, everybody call me that at work. So I've got it's grown on me now. If you don't call me Miss Donna, I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you? You ain't calling me Miss Donna. But at first, I was taking it some kind of way. I was like, wait a minute. When did I become old? That's kind of like how I was, but it's just a respect thing. But I do, like I say, back to this person, I just think that they have encountered a couple of things that has made them kind of really go there. Maybe it's the choosing of the type of people they've been, dealing with, or people have been telling them that they're dealing with a different generational 50, 60-year-olds are proclaiming to be old men or old women. And I've met some really youthful, health-ridden, energetic men in their 60s that I'm like, wow, they blow these 45 and 50 years olds out the box because they got it going on, but their mindset too is not old. They're not acting old, talking old. They're not doing things old. And I don't take that as you're trying to, not, some people will say, well, you just trying to avoid getting old. You're in denial. Come on now, you're only 60 some years old. Life is not over. For some, life is just beginning.
Yeah.
They're retiring. They about to ready to have some fun. And Jill, they done did their time. Some have retired in their 50s. And they going hard in their 60s. So yeah, I don't, this person just wanted to know, she's saying that the mindset is all effed up, for folks that's on that page of acting and proclaiming oldness. I don't know what to tell her or him, other than it's a mindset, yes, but apparently you have been dealing with the wrong kind of mindset of folks in that mature age. I don't know how else to address this,
Yeah, I would just recommend to be around more people in that age group, be exposed to more people so you get a better understanding of what they think, how they are, and what they have been through.
Yeah.
Say, no, they this way, they that way, whatever. You got to remember, most of the people in that age group might have been to war. They might see some things that other person hasn't seen. So those things could be a real true detriment to their social development and how they interact with people. But other than that, you don't know what they've been through unless you get out there and talk to them.
Exactly.
So you can't just really say, this person did this because they old, they don't know nothing, this and that. I tell you, some of the older people, the more things that you could ever imagine, you know. So
Mhm. That's right. So, I say keep your mindset straight. Um, you can't change or influence anyone else to change theirs, but just be who you are, and that's the best, advice ever. And hopefully birds of a feather flock together. So maybe you'll flock with some folks that's on your same plane. And if not, sometimes, your spunkiness and your attitude sometimes falls over on the next person because they'll want to feel like you or do things that you're doing or be a part of what you're doing. And maybe that'll help them to come off of that woe is me, I'm old bus and they only 55.
Y'all remember that? Y'all see that commercial where the guy is trying to help the people not turn into their parents?
yeah, yeah.
And they do it all. Oh, we should park over there. We'll be a little closer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And all that.
You better go to the bathroom before we go to the movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, that's crazy,
Give me your coat. I'll put it down right here. We don't need no coat, father.
Yeah, because and that's true. And they end up don't want to be, but end up being. You know what I'm saying?
Some
So,
people choose to be
but
like that, though.
I mean, yeah, this was just an interesting, inquiring minds want to know. I wanted to discuss it because, like I said, I run across a few people who do the mindset is, I'm old and this and that, and some have been in their 40s. It was a 45-year-old once was telling me that I'm old. I feel old. Everything hurt, everything aching. I'm just old, and I'm like, okay,
Well, that tells me that person haven't been active enough.
yeah, yeah,
They were stagnated and stale and stationary in their 20s. Now their 30s, they're getting kind of settled. And they don't want to do anything.
they in they 45.
Well, they got to be active. Get out and walk.
Yeah,
Go for a trip. Do something that's fun. Do something that can jazz you up and put some energy back in your body.
yeah,
Change
that's
your
right.
diet. Change your diet. Maybe that's it. But
Yeah.
something's in your mind. It could be a
Change your
relationship.
diet or certain things that you're doing. You could be, the vices,
Mostly,
you know, it-
mostly it's people you interact with.
yeah. Yeah, people you interact with. You're right. You are absolutely right. So that's interesting, but we'll move right along from that. I wish this person the best in finding more youthful connections and, getting their mindset away from no, it's not a thing where today's 50 and 60-year-olds are old because they're not all with that mindset there. They're not. It's just maybe who you're flocking with that's just on that bandwagon. Because there's some really jazzy 60-something-year-olds out here, 50-something-year-olds.
I know I'm jazzy with mine. I know that, right?
Uh-oh, hello. That's right. Tell them, John. Tell them. And you just have to,
It's
hey,
better. It's some youngsters who better get out my way. I might just slide on in.
that's
No,
right. And that's the attitude you gotta have,
it ain't attitude. It's real.
You
It's
gotta you gotta
truth.
keep your spunk going and just do what
So,
you do and try to keep yourself in a very helpful way. Like Cordell was saying, you have to move yourself. You gotta walk. You gotta do things to keep your limbs, working, your mindset, stimulate yourself, take a course, learn something new, research something, write, do things to jumpstart your mental and work on your physical and all that stuff. It comes together. I can't wait till I get over this hump that I'm going through with trying to determine what's going on with my esophagus or whatever they got going on because I was in the gym. that was my thing. At least 3 minimum times a week. Then I was trying to walk a couple of days. I kept myself, you know, with doing something to keep me more vibrant. And I miss that. And I'm ready to get back on that bandwagon. I said at the beginning of the year, I was gonna start back and just take a little bit at a time and get back into my little situation because I miss it. And it makes a difference. It really does. It makes a big difference in a lot of ways. So anyway, moving right along, you guys. Can you marry someone before you know them and it works out? Meaning, oh, it's raining outside. Meaning, if you meet somebody and you don't really know them that well, and you
Why would you
decide
want to
that
marry them?
you want to
Would you?
marry, maybe you've determined that, wow, this is somebody I know I really want to be with. And you determine you want to marry, but you still don't really know them that well. Well, do you think that works out?
No, no.
Why you say that, Gareth?
You know, no, in America, you have to.
You gotta know them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta know them. And it don't take long, but you gotta go through some things. I think the best way is first to build that solid friendship and to go through a few things together, few experiences. That's the best teacher of getting to know a person because it you know, people who rush into marriage before they even know how a person can they balance a checkbook, or how do they act when they're depressed, or how do they act when they're angry. It could be someone who punches holes in walls, or you, when they get upset about something. And if you've never been through an angry point with them, you're not going to know that until you go through it. It's like, wow, I didn't know they get so angry. I didn't know they act in that way.
So in other words, you don't know if you're dealing with a bipolar person or not.
Exactly. Unless you run into their medicine cabinet and you see some stuff fall out and you say, oh,
Oh Lord.
they take this? What's really going on? Then you Google the medicine and it's for some kind of bipolar disorder or something. You say, oh my goodness. But no, I'm just saying. But you have to go through certain things with a person too, to know how they deal with specific type of
Okay. So you mean to say if I never went through angry issue with the person, then say we have a pleasant relationship and we don't, I mean, we might debate over things here and there, but we ain't never got to where we had to argue and cuss each other out. So because I haven't went through that, I'm not ready.
No, I'm not gonna say you're not ready. I'm just gonna say at some
Because when
point,
we say, oh, I'm sorry.
at some point, once you're getting to know a person, you're going to see them go through some type of situations, either with you or with someone else or regarding something else. And you're going to be able to see how they handle that. How do they handle when they get mad? Because some people got anger management issues.
Okay. But you know, there's a lot of
It may
people.
not be good.
It's a lot of things, you know, we learn. I think the first things we should be trying to learn about someone is their trustworthiness and their honesty.
Yeah.
What type of certain them main characters, because you never stop learning someone. You may learn a lot about them, but
Right.
some people have been married. Say some, let's just say some people been together, married or unmarried. Some people been together for years, 10, 20 years, and then something takes place and they say, oh, I didn't know that of that person. So we have to, so we have to understand really, how are we connecting? What kind of French, because when you
I
connect,
can't
it's
hear you,
just
John.
you can't hear me? You can't hear me?
We can hear you now.
I'm just saying, you know, you can meet someone and what kind of how you connect, and like I said, you get to learn their trustworthiness and their honesty and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And that might not take long to know. And then other things you may find out because you may have a situation where the person hasn't gotten a certain way or act a certain way. You know, no, they didn't show this frustration. I've seen them get mad before, but I never seen this type of frustration before, you know, or whatever. And I always, and like I say, I don't think time dictates. Time can be a factor on in certain things,
Hmm.
but you can spend all kind of time and never have a connection. You know, never. Matter of fact, never be honest with one another. Because a lot of people that put in a lot of times and ain't being honest with one another, you know. But I think
Well,
when,
sooner or later, that's gonna come out too. You have to go through some things together, though. You do. You
but I
really
mean, when you say some things, that's pretty. What things would I have to go through with someone before I determine if I'm going to
Well, I
marry
think
them?
that a person's character, things come out based on different situations of giving it a little time to get to know each other. I'm not saying it take years. You may go through a year with each other, and there's certain things and scenarios that's gonna come out. You're gonna determine about a person: loyalty, commitment, being honest.
Okay,
Um,
well, them should be main factors right there. I mean,
those are
that should
main.
be the
I'm
found.
just naming a few. I'm just naming
Yeah,
the
but when you
main.
say, you should go through some things, I'm
Okay, I'm trying to
asking.
get there, but you're not letting me get
Okay,
there. Those are the main factors that I named in the beginning. But then there's some things you're gonna go through. You're gonna go through um some days are just not gonna be that happy. You're gonna have an issue with each other. You're not gonna agree. It may end up being an argument. You may see that they're not too thrifty with how they spend their money. You know, you may see that they drink a little bit more than you thought they did in the beginning. And when they drink, they act a certain way. They become a little bit more, out of character. And they're a little bit more, some people is angry drunk. Some people want to, they're violent drunk. Some just want to go to bed. You learn certain qualities about this person the more time you spend with them and going through some things. What's going to happen if they lose their job? How do they act when they're having financial problems? Are they withdrawn? Do they not want to communicate? Do they not want to be bothered by you? Do
okay,
they
but
have,
wonder.
these are things you have to learn as you get to know a person going through certain things.
But wonder if you're with someone. There's people who've been together for over a year and they never had these issues. They never had arguments like that. They didn't have a concern about finances. They didn't have a concern. They probably already discussed if I was to lose my job, this would be the plan or whatever. But they never had anything like that because some people get together and they say we don't argue, we're inseparable, it's this and this, and then
Right.
30 years down the line, she's standing over him while he's asleep with a knife in her hand. I mean, so that change,
Or
but when we're,
something really happened for her to want to
oh well, we don't
cut
know.
his
She could have look at
kahunas off.
see something had to really happen. Let's just say she bipolar. Let's say she bipolar.
Well, it wouldn't have took 30 years for you to determine she was bipolar.
No, but we don't know. A lot of people don't. We got to look. There's been relationships where it's been years before different things have come about, and people have already gotten married and built a family and everything. So
Right.
in the beginning, like I say, the beginning, if the foundation should be around the honesty, the trustworthiness, how you connect, the friendship, all these things, they're main elements. Because when you build something like that solid, when the time comes, we could be 20 years later and somebody's, yeah, they may lose their job and they get frustrated in a certain way. Well, but when you're built on a certain foundation, what happens is it'll help you guys to be able to approach that and to be able to deal with it in the manner that it needs to be dealt with in. But when you don't have that foundation or that connection, and a lot of people do go on in relationships and they have discord and everything else in there.
Mhm.
So when things come about, they can't deal with it. They ready to bail because they don't have that. We don't have that friendship. We don't have that loyalty. We don't have
Gotta
that
have the
trust
main
and
foundation,
stuff.
yes,
Because
yes.
like I say, it could be 2 years you could be with dating someone and you may never see a frustrated or out of
I
control.
don't believe that. I don't
That's
believe that.
but it's true though. It is true. That's the
I
thing.
don't know.
It's
I
true.
don't agree with that.
Okay, okay. You should look it up. But I know there's this family. This couple. They've been together for I know they were married over 70 years because they celebrated. They married young. It was their 70th year thing. And the lady was sick and had to be in the hospital, right? and and uh the man, he was just demanding about a room for him staying there, because they were talking about visiting hours, all this junk. And he was like, him and his wife has never slept apart in the whole time they've been together.
Okay, I'll
And
agree.
now, in
Okay.
this, no, hold on. In this, they never had any disagreements. They never argued. They never went after each other or nothing. So we can't say, and this is with this guy, and this guy has been together with his wife for all these years. We
Some
can't
don't.
say,
Some don't
we
have
can't.
major arguments. I
Okay,
would.
wait, hold on. Let's be careful when we say major and this and that. I'm saying there's times when you can date someone and you can be with that person. You could be dating for 2, 3 years. And some people don't show that side of frustration. They don't.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. So why? So you mean they had to have a certain event that takes place in their life for them to have this type of frustration to come out? And guess what? They didn't have that in them events in their life. They
Hmm.
don't have them events. So we can't, and it's true. People have, it's this young couple at our church I adore because you see them, they talk about things, they have their little disagreement, debate about, well, let's go here, they do it, they move on. You don't see none of this stuff. And that's one of the things
Well, that's
they
good
actually they
communication.
actually taught for the singles ministry,
Yeah.
to help folks in this, and they never had no goddamn breakouts like that, and they ended up getting married and they still are married. So it can be true. We don't have to be with somebody and wait for this life changing event or whatever for them to see them be
No,
frustrated.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you get to know somebody, sometimes going through certain situations, you find out certain things about their character with how they
True,
act and react with certain things. And sometimes it's not nice.
true,
And that comes with time. It may be
true.
sometime the first 6 months of knowing a person,
It,
or
it
maybe
could be it
a
could be
whole
next week.
year.
It could be next week.
It
But
could
like
be
I
next.
say, but like you say, it could be a whole year. But when we say about we must go through some things with folks, there's some things we may not ever experience with.
I don't believe that.
There's some, you mean to tell me,
Life brings about experiences.
oh, wait, hold on,
You're
listen
gonna
to what
go
I
through some
said.
stuff.
Listen what I said. Some. See, some doesn't say everything. Some say there's some things that
Yeah.
in relationships that some may consider major. There's frustration, they argue and cuss at each other, whatever. And there's some who don't experience that. They never experienced it in their
They're
relationship.
gonna experience life.
They, oh, wait, hold on, Donna.
They're
We
gonna
know
go through
Donna.
life.
That's general, Donna. We know that. We're going back to
And you're
specific.
gonna have some differences going through, because how I
Donna,
deal with life is gonna be different from how you deal with life.
Donna, that's still general. But when we're talking about seeing how a person, sometimes we may date someone and we may never see them go through a financial issue to where we may see this frustration behind finances. We could be with them for 2, 3 years and they never go through a financial. Hell, we can be with them for probably 10 years and they never go through a financial issue.
Well, if
And
they
we
don't
and
go
we
through the
don't
finance, they
and
gonna
we
go through something. You gonna see you they're gonna go through some life changing event is going to occur when you're getting to know someone, whether they lose a loved one, whether they go through
oh
finances, whether they go, there's gonna be life changes that they're gonna go through, and you're going to see how they deal with that. And the only point I'm making is some people don't deal with it in the way that you feel is or should want to feel is warm and fuzzy. They may be the type to get at you in a very bad way when they're going through things. That's all I'm saying.
okay, but
So
at the beginning it was like about marrying someone. It started out marrying someone when it's too soon, and the thing was about you have to go through something with someone first before you determine these things. And that's how it started out. And that's why I'm like, what is it that we have to go through
no,
to
we
determine?
shifted it towards that. The question was, can you marry someone before you know them and it works out? That was the question. And we kind of went down different roads.
Well, we got to the point. Okay, what do we determine as knowing? What is the fullness of knowing?
Well, that's
Because
part of this discussion.
some things,
What is
and
knowing?
and
What
then
is
that's when we
knowing?
and then that's when we go to talking about going through some things. Because like I say, some things which you really learn, you kind of learn really is about this person's honesty. You a lot of times that's in your communication. If you calling
Right.
them or they say they call you and then something's acting up, wait a minute, I call you and some dude is answering your phone or you
Right.
playing these games or whatever. We kind of get hints about that. We get hints about a little trustworthiness. Why you going through my stuff? I can't trust you or whatever. I mean, little things like that. But to
Right.
certain things that people deal with, of certain life things, sometimes you can be with someone again, Donna, and they may never lose a loved one. They may not
They
lose
may
their
not, but
job.
something else
They
will happen. Something
that,
else will happen
but
because it's
that's not
life.
a get. That's not, yeah. But if you're, like I say, you could be with someone in 2 years and none of that may not take place.
I don't believe that. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't agree with that. I
So
mean,
you
I
mean
don't know. What do you guys
somebody
think?
somebody
I don't
can't
agree
go,
with that.
so someone can't go through their life and say, you ask them, hey, how you doing? They say, I've been doing. Well, how the last 5 years been for your life? Well, I can say this. Last 2 years have been great. I haven't lost
Right.
no loved one. My finances been great. My this, I haven't had this. So then what do we say about that?
Some people
If
have
that is to
really,
be true, if
I'm
that is to
talking
be
in
true.
terms of getting to know someone that you are trying to go down a serious walk with. It takes a minute to get to know this person to see how they deal with different types of situations. That's my point. And anybody else can feel differently, that's fine. But I'm saying it takes a little time to get to know, because you never know how a person is going to deal with certain things. The
Exactly.
good, the bad, the ugly comes out. They may be lovely with everything else, but is in the gambling casino blowing money every other day, or they may want to punch you every time you don't do things that they say you need to do, or whatever. It takes time sometimes for that emotion to occur. You may not have an argument the first 6 months about nothing because you're still in the honeymoon stage, per se.
Okay, what
But
about the first year?
the first year, that's when reality starts kicking in for the most part.
Donna, I think one of the biggest problems
In the
is
first year.
the problem is we let time dictate how our hearts and our decisions should go. Because who says in the first year we should start arguing? Who
No,
says in
I'm
the
not
first?
saying
No,
that,
no,
John.
I'm just giving an
I'm not
example.
saying that.
Hold on, I'm just giving an
You
example.
jumping the
No,
gun.
I'm giving an example. Who says in the first 2 years that this person is going to go through something or whatever? So I'm dating someone, and here we've been together 6 months, and we decided we want to take, or we've been together 3 months, and we decided, we want to take this further. We probably got engaged 6 months later, okay, and we're deciding to get married at the end of the year. And in that time, we haven't had no issues. Matter of fact, no one lost a loved one. No one went through none of that. We had no arguments. No one put hands on each other or
Mhm.
nothing, or nothing.
Well, that's why they say
And,
that you
and
should take a little bit more
so
time to
how
get
much
to
time
know
should
each
how
other.
much time? No,
I
I'm
don't
saying this
know.
is a year.
I
I'm
don't
saying,
know.
no, listen, I'm saying a year done went by. So it's been determined that these two people are going to get married. A
Uh-huh.
year has went by, and they have not experienced none of them things. So are we saying that they need to let another year go by until that stuff comes
No, no,
about?
we're not saying that. What I'm saying is that you need to give it a little time to get to know one another and how they deal with certain situations. They're not going to deal with every situation because every situation may not come up. But there's going to be some real life stuff that may just come up.
May
And
is
you're
the
going
key
to be
word.
able to see.
May is the key word you just said. May. It may come up, and that means
It's
it
going to
may
come up, John.
that
It's going to
no,
come
Donna
up.
is it
Something's going
Donna
to come
is
up.
Donna, it's not a given, even in 2 years, it's not a given that people are going to go through such life changing or whatever situations.
You're going
It's
to be
not a
able to
given.
see the character of the person in dealing with a couple of situations. Yes, you are.
Let's put it like this. There's two people, right?
Yes.
They see each other. They kind of think one other's kind of hot. Okay.
Yes.
They get together. They both have the same respect for each other. They
Yeah.
communicate well. They have the same kind of mindset going forward, and they want to get married. So
Yeah.
just a little bit of time goes by. They're together all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do something to one another that they might not like about, but at least they can talk about it.
Communication.
It
Okay.
might be a red flag to the other party, but they got to talk about it.
Right.
So is that one of the things you're talking about or not? Because without the communication, you're really going to have a problem. But is that person's character is the same as mine? We kind of think the same, but they made one false move doing something that I didn't like. So is that going to really cause a rift in our relationship?
It shouldn't cause a rift as far as if you have the, like John said, the key components. You have communication, you have trust, you have loyalty, you have the things that help build a strong foundation. When you have these things that occur, yes, you'll be able to talk about them or whatever. But what I'm saying is there's going to be situations that will occur. You're going to disagree about things. There may be a red flag. You may not like the way this person acts when they have too much to drink. They may be too gossipy to their girlfriends, or their dude friends may come over too much and be all in the way. Whatever the situation is, you guys are going to have to get past this. And these are what I call situations. So if your foundation is strong enough, you're going to be able to talk about it. You're going to be able to move forward about it. But life situations will come up. 2 years, nobody's going to be on good, excellent behavior with no situations in 2 years of getting to know one another.
Why they wouldn't?
John,
I
it's
just
just
don't get. I don't
realistic.
get. I wait. How you can't say? Hold on.
It's
We
not.
can't hold on. We can't say that's not realistic when people actually proclaim that they went through their relationship has been flawless for them. They haven't had no arguments. They
No
haven't. Hold
relationship
on,
is
Donna.
flawless.
Hold on. See, Donna.
No
See, Donna.
relationship is flawless.
Hold on, Donna. Let me. I'm just sharing. You
Somebody's
have
not
a
telling the truth.
okay. So in other words,
I'll tell you that, buddy.
I shouldn't thinking about marrying nobody until we get down with the get down.
You
Until
guys
we
just
fussing
have
and
to,
cussing
like
and
I
about to
said,
put each
John,
other's hands around their throat. Once I
nobody's
put my hands
we're
around
just,
her throat, then I'ma marry her.
we're
Once
just,
my hands
guys,
go
we're
around her
just
throat, I'm marrying her.
we're just expressing how we feel. I'm saying
But
that there's gonna be situations and you guys are gonna have to talk about it and try to get past it. If it's something that you can deal with, but in 2 years, there's
Donna,
gonna
you
be
will be
things that's
so
gonna come up.
surprised. You'd be so surprised how people move about.
Not
You
in no two
will.
years, and they say they ain't never been through a situation. That's bullcrap.
Well,
Bullcrap.
okay. So they didn't have no financial situation. They didn't have no
It might not have
distrust.
been financial.
Hold on, Donna. They didn't have no financial, no distrust, no lost. They didn't. They wasn't about no loyalty. It wasn't about finances. No, like I say, no lost in the family. Matter of fact, they had a good bill of health for these last 2 years. They didn't
Uh-huh.
have an argument about the car, who gonna drive the car. They didn't have none of this
But it
going
could have been
on.
something else.
Oh,
They
see,
could
here
have
we
had a
go. It
situation of,
always it
listen, it could have
Donna,
been a
people.
situation about the kid. It could
Oh,
have been you're
they
doing
didn't have
too
no
much.
argument about
Well,
the
let me
kids.
finish. I listened
No,
to
but
you.
I was still Donna. The thing is, people, it
We
exists.
we gonna
People,
move on from this because he
not
ain't letting me get a word in.
because
He
you
wants to get it
saying
in, and I respect that.
I'm going by,
But we
but
both have opinions. We both do.
I'm just trying to say, how can we finalize and say that people are going to go in 2 years or 1 year? People cannot be in a relationship and not go through some stuff that we're trying to say. How can we say that?
John, people are gonna go through stuff.
Okay, people
And
gonna go.
whoever's saying they're not and they haven't,
So
somebody
they're
is
liars.
not being honest.
So
You're gonna
Donna,
go through something.
Donna,
It
Donna,
could be something is what we may call it little. It could be we're not having sex as much as I want.
Donna.
It could be your grown child is always at the house and they not working and they eating up all the food, smoking weed all the time.
Donna.
But that's your child, and
But
you don't want to put
when
no.
if you not but when if
It's
you're not
going to
dealing with
be
that, Donna?
situations, John. It is.
Okay. Donna, I'm going to speak on something. One thing. I'm going to go personal. I
Okay.
dated this lady. I dated, and this is the one of the reasons we continued, and we dated for a long time,
Yes.
and to where we actually moved in together. And the reason being, we didn't have no arguments, we didn't have no issues, we didn't do none of that. We didn't
Okay.
have no issues with the kids, no issues of none of that. And
Okay.
that went on for over a year.
Okay.
Over a year. Even if we was to discuss food, come up with it, we discuss, we come to agreement, we good. Over a year. Now people have done this less than
Okay. But
that.
then, okay, over
People,
a year. But by the time you hit the 2 year
oh,
mark, I
see,
know
now we
something came
going,
up.
now we going, hold on.
You said the first 2 years. Look,
No. Because we was talking about 6 months, 1 year, and everything. But what I'm
it
saying
usually
is,
comes up
when
within the
when
first year.
people, one of the things, um, Cordell even mentioned it too, the communication, the connection that people have. Let me
Right.
tell you, when people connect and their communication is straight, when you know how you can see just how they carry out in simple things without any issues, how
Right.
they carry their lives, their
Right.
honesty, their trust, or whatever, even how they do things with you. And people have set up and they have gotten married in less time than that and spent a lot of years married.
Right.
Spent a lot of years married.
It happens.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nobody,
Okay, no,
nobody is
I'm
saying it.
stopping.
Let's let me say something. I'm not speaking for the whole universe and everybody. What I'm saying is there is that selective few that can do that, and they end up being together 20 years and then end up getting a divorce.
Okay, now we go
Okay,
back to what
now
I
let me
said. So
finish.
it's
Let me
possible.
finish.
So you saying it's possible?
Let me finish. They may go 20 years and end up getting a divorce for something else. But what I'm saying, there's a large percentage of people usually within the first year, especially 2 years, you're going to go through some things with each other where it's going to be red flags or it's going to be disagreements or it's going to be something that's going to put a little dent in your thing. It's up to you and that person of how you deal with it. It may be something you can't bounce back from because you don't want to deal with that. Maybe you just found out this person smoked weed and you never knew they smoked weed and you don't want to deal with nobody that smokes weed. So you're going to end it. But there's going to be something, is what I'm saying. And it's how you two deal with that and work through that. Nobody goes through a blemish-free, I don't care what they tell you, they may not tell you everything behind their closed doors. Everybody is going to have, because this person was raised a certain way, you was raised a certain way, they have their way they do and think about things, and you do too. It's coming together and how we gonna mesh and do this together. And sometimes that does not work out. And you find that out in the first year or two for sure. That's all I'm saying. Certain things you gotta have that getting to know. You gotta go through some things. Sometimes some people say we gotta live together. I gotta live with them first because I gotta find out, because if I don't, that's when the true blue come out, is when we live together. Some don't want to live together, but it's a personal thing. It's just a couples working together, and nobody can say whether your communication is solid, whether you don't argue much or whatever, but you're going to have some type of riffle. Something is going to occur that you both are going to find out, getting to know one another, and it's going to be up to how you deal with it. That's just my point. I don't believe in that it's A1 perfect. We ain't had no issues for the first year or two. And a lot of people who saying that is not being honest.
Oh my God,
They're
Donna,
not.
that's not fair
I'm
to
sorry.
say.
I don't
That's not
believe
fair
that.
to say.
I said,
Because then now we're
that's
saying,
my opinion.
now we're saying what they determined as a successful relationship, say dating period, in that year. And they had no frustrate. They didn't have, the only disagreement they had probably was with restaurant to choose. But they ain't had no other issues, no kid. Matter of fact, none of them got kids. So they ain't had no issues when it comes to the kids. They ain't had no other issues. And you saying that could not be, that cannot
Said
exist
in the
in a
first year or
year?
two, there's
In,
some type of life
oh,
situation that you guys are going to be dealing with, getting to know each other. Period.
oh, Donna,
Anybody else got
no.
anything to say?
That's narrow,
That's
Donna.
narrow. That's not real. That's real. That's how I feel.
That's
Anybody got
narrow.
anything to
No,
say?
how you feel and real is two different things. You can't
Anybody?
say how I feel is real.
No, because
It's
that's how
either
I feel,
real
because
or
it's
your
real to
opinion.
me. Just
Hey,
Oh,
like
what?
John,
how
Oh,
you feel
John,
is
okay. Now
real
you're
to
saying
you.
real to
John,
you. I'm talking
John,
Okay,
general.
okay, hold
John,
up, John.
you know
Hold
what?
up.
You know what? This is a good example of what happens. You're talking logical, she's talking emotional. Now, what happens really is that you're making logic. She wants to go on emotions. She ain't hearing your logic. She wants you to feel her emotions. Think about it.
I don't get she wants me to feel her emotions. The subject is, the thing
I know
is,
what, hey,
a
hey, brother,
person
I'm
is
with
it,
you. I'm,
I'm
I'm
not
with you.
talking about her
I'm with you,
opinions.
brother. I'm
I'm
with you.
talking about, is it possible that people can go a year without all that you're saying?
Yes,
The
it
only
is
way, the
possible.
only way I see it possible is if they have, if both people is
Okay.
on that honeymoon stage of making
Okay.
it out for a
Okay.
year.
Let's call it honeymoon or whatever. The
That's
thing
when
is,
everybody is being goody two shoes for
Donna,
the first
listen.
year.
Okay, we call everybody good two shoes. That's fine. We
And,
can call them.
and
We
some
can.
people
Hey,
that's playing the goody two
we
shoes,
can call them
yeah, they
Bessie,
not letting the
Bessie
real
Sue.
show.
We can call them Bessie Sue or whatever. The thing is it possible for people to date for a year without all that ruckus?
I
Yes.
don't think. I don't think so. I don't.
Okay, you don't think so, but
No.
we're talking about the reality, not talking about my opinion
Well,
or
the
anybody's
reality, your
opinion.
reality is not my
No, I'm not
reality.
talking about my reality. I
So,
just said,
so
not my
who
opinion.
determines what the reality is?
Well, when a person says this is what we done, we can't call them a liar.
I'm
If
not
they
saying that
say,
they're lying. What I'm
well,
saying,
you
John,
just
is
said it
that
earlier, they're lying.
usually after a year, a couple has went through
Okay.
something, and for sure after 2 years. So if by chance they skidded by that first year because everybody's on goody two shoes, going into year 2, there's going to be a reality that's going to tap that butt. Trust me. Okay. Anybody else got anything else to say?
One's talking emotions, one's talking logic.
All right. Well, that's your opinion. See, everybody got an opinion. You got an opinion, Garrett?
No,
It's
no,
okay
no.
to have an opinion. It's all right. It don't mean you're right or wrong. It's just everybody has their way of looking at things. And that's what makes us uniquely different. It's okay. I don't have a problem with somebody disagreeing with me. This is just me speaking about how I see it and how I feel. And that's just it. No, sometimes we just not on the same page, and that's okay.
And all that's based on life experiences, right?
What? What you say?
All of that is based on life experiences, right?
Life experiences.
Okay. So somebody could have gone through a 1-year relationship with a perfect mate and got married after a year and lived happy
They
ever
do it
after.
all the time.
Yeah. I'm just saying, is all he said is it possible? That's all he said.
I said it's possible when you're still in that honeymoon stage and everybody's trying to do the perfect Betsy Boo. Yes, you can, and that's why some people who get married after a year, after the 3rd year, it ends up not being a marriage anymore.
My parents
Because
got
the
married in 3
realness
months.
comes out.
My parents got married in 3 months and stayed married for 38 years.
Well, see, that's the exception.
Well, hold on. That's the possibility.
My grandparents,
That's the
same thing.
Okay, then that's the possibility.
It's the possibility, especially
There
with old
we go.
school. Especially
With
with
old school,
John.
oh
We're
God.
talking about the now. I understand that.
I'm living in the now. Cordell, you in the now? Girl,
Yeah,
Garrett,
but now,
where
We
you
all
at?
in the
You in the
now.
now?
I'm in the
We
now.
all
I'm in
in
the
the
now.
now.
We
I'm
ain't them
talking
50,
about the
60.
now.
We ain't them 50, 60, 70s think they old. We in the
No,
now.
I'm saying I understand. My grandparents did the same thing. I understand that. As a
Well,
matter of fact,
you
he
know,
was
I'll
21
say
and
this,
she was 13. I understand all that.
you know what it is really? You could say we're living in the now, and that was the past. The role of a female in the now is
Yeah.
different from the role of female in the past. However, the role of the man from the past and the role of the man now stays the same. That's one constant that's the same. The problem that I see is that you have people don't know their roles anymore. Even though a woman wants to be independent, self-starter, a go-getter, whatever, she's no longer feminine.
Mm-hmm.
She's become more masculine in her ways, in her thinking, to do the things that she wants to do. That's the one of the now. No matter what, she's competing with that man, and she will belittle that man as much as she can, get him to do anything to make him feel small, just to say she's right.
That's what the women of today, you saying, is doing?
Yeah, correct. Now, don't get me wrong. We have an open discussion about relationships. We're having an open discussion about the first year and beyond. Normally, everybody's on their best behavior in the first few weeks, few months. That
Yeah,
ain't to say it's gonna change, but that ain't to say it's gonna stay the same.
right,
It's a gamble. Everything's a gamble. You hope to find the right person for your situation.
right. I get it.
But what happens now in today's society, women are doing what? Making money, doing their own thing, taking on a masculine role, and belittling the men.
You know, my memory live.
And when you say belittling the men,
I'm saying hey, I don't need you. I don't need no man. I make more money than you. You ain't no good. Look what kind of car you got. You got a Volkswagen. I got a BMW. You ain't shit. You
what?
know? What you mean, what? I'm
I,
talking
I
to you.
don't. I mean, I would never come across like that. I'm just like
I'm not
appalled.
saying
I mean,
you.
are
I'm
they
not
really
saying-
saying that?
saying you. But people and women of today's society are showing men that they are no longer in a real good point of view of their use. Women don't have any use for men, period.
I think women and men need one another. Why does it have to do with how much you make and what status you're in?
Ooh. But Donna, when it comes down to it, that would be one of those things you have to have that problem in the second year. It's always finances. You said it yourself. In the second year, we're gonna have problems with finances. You gotta see
No,
what
I'm
kind
saying I was just bringing up some of the issues that people
know,
do have
that's
problems with.
that's an
Some may
issue.
never have a financial problem. Who knows?
So John was saying that is it possible that they could be in bliss for their entire lives? And you were saying it's impossible. And he was saying,
Well,
but
no,
it's
I said when you're getting to, no, you guys
wait.
misunderstood me. I said
Okay.
when you're getting to know someone, the first, I say it takes time to get, he says, what is getting to know? I say going through certain situations and da, 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 da. I didn't say it was impossible for people to have a wonderful relationship moving forward. It's getting to know one another.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry if I misunderstood.
That's what I said. I didn't say that's impossible to have. I'm not, I don't diss that because there's people who have had successful marriages and relationships and all that. I'm saying the getting to know phase, that you're going to go through some things, adapting to one another's differences, and you're going to have to deal with it, or sometimes it's a deal breaker.
It can be a deal breaker. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, John, are you still with us?
I'm right here.
Do you agree with what she's saying now?
Well, see, we're not talking about the far out. We were talking about the dating phase, the dating period. People dating from 1 to 2, 6 months, 1 year, whatever.
2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Some
whatever.
people go through these dating, take this period of dating. And some people have determined, they have seen that they haven't had, well, when you ask them, they haven't had any issues. They haven't had any issues. They haven't come up. You have some who have started out. It's people who start dating within a month and they arguing like I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
And you wondering what are you arguing for? You just really met. Okay. But then you have some people who have dated for a period of time and they haven't had any issues like that. They haven't experienced anything to where the only thing they may experience really is they come in, let me tell you about what happened at work or one of my friends or this or that. but they haven't. Some of them haven't experienced these certain things that goes on in life, and sometimes they don't go through that until later. And and like you say, a lot of times when it's built, when the connection and the trust and when that the main attributes of the foundation is there, well, yeah. So later down the line, they come to find out, and they say, "Oh, this person is fine." Well, a lot of times because of what they built at the beginning allows them to be able to get through that later.
Mhm.
But some people can't get through it because they probably went ahead and got married and didn't have no trust for each other. They was always questioning each other anyway. Had some, thinking so and so creeping here and there. They was lying to each other and still decided to get married or whatever. And when things, but what I'm just saying is there's people who have dated and can date for a period of time and not go through a lot of things. And a lot of times you learn a lot even then because you can see how a person operates on their daily basis, and you can see in that daily basis, this person operates still as a trustworthy person. They're loyal. They do because they do certain things to prove the loyalty or to display the loyalty. Let's put it that way. And they do certain things that display their trust, that displays their honesty and so forth. So people move on. They move on and they get together and they just okay, we get married and they go and then years down the line, guess what? A person who had been so committed in everything at the beginning started cheating.
Hmm.
And that's something you did not, no matter, and you could have been dating for 3 years and you did not see, you did not, yeah, you didn't figure, you didn't come across that.
Maybe you missed the memo
Oh, Lord,
in
have
the first
mercy.
year.
Okay, let's put it this way. I know I've dated someone and I didn't get the memo and they ended up cheating later. So I guess I didn't get the memo. But
Well, did you get it the second
what I
year?
huh?
Did you get it the second year?
Oh, here we go. I didn't let's say we got past the second year. Okay?
Well, like I said, it takes time to get to know somebody, and everything don't come out in the wash right away. No, but certain things will. And you have to be on your A game to identify what's best for you. Sometimes we see the red flags and we skid by them. We don't pay them no attention. And later on, it becomes a big old volcano. And then you're like, wow, I saw this, man, I knew this was crazy in the beginning, but I loved them. I loved them, so I hung in there.
Yeah.
There's things we got to pay attention to. They do present, but a lot of times we ignore them. We do. And especially by year 2. Year 1, I may usually you do, but you can skid by sometime year 1. But by year 2, the true blue usually comes out. That person is who they are. It's a duck. If it's quacking, it's a duck.
What if the quacking is honesty, loyalty, trustworthy,
Oh,
no
you gotta have
frustration,
that. You gotta
none of
have
that?
that.
What if it's all that and it's none of the other stuff? None of the cussing
You
out,
go,
none of the
you
putting
may
your,
not have no cussing out, John, but it's
none of
gonna
the
be something. It's gonna be something. It's not perfect.
we it ain't gotta be perfect, but you Donna, some folks they don't argue over
They
things
may
like
not
that.
argue,
They
but it may
don't
be something else.
Donna, some people can go through uh the second year just fine.
Okay, I still don't agree, but we learn to disagree agreeably. That's what we do here on the Table Talk Donna Smith show. We don't always agree, but it's all right. Everybody said their opinion. Everybody's addressing, and I hope that you out there who are going through your first year or two or whatever, that you're not having any major issues. Whatever issues you may have, you identify them. You do have your loyalty, your trust, and your communication and commitment intact, where you can both come together as a couple and work through it. Some things are very much workable and some things are not. It just depends on what you're, what's best for you and what you're looking for. Because if a person is out there cheating on you and you find out in the first 2 years, well, you don't want to deal with that, do you?
No.
No. If you find out that they're lying and conniving and Steven and they done stole your credit card or your money or your wallet or whatever, your purse or whatever they did, you don't want to deal with a thief, do you?
No.
Some things just come out. Maybe they did drugs back in the day and they didn't tell you anything about this. And you've been dealing with them a year and a half and boom, it comes out in the open that they relapsed and they're on dope again. And it's like, why didn't you tell me you had this issue and I'm up here getting ready to marry you, whatever. They didn't feel like they should have told you, but now you got a situation. Do you want to deal with that? There's certain things that just fall out at you. And it just depends on you and what you're looking for and what you want and what you can deal with and how strong your foundation is with that person, whether you deal with it or not. But life deals us cards sometimes. And nothing is perfect. Nobody's perfect. They're not going to fold the sheets the way you do. They're not going to clean house the way you do. They're not going to cook the way you do. Okay? There's differences. That's all the point I'm making. Stuff comes out when you get to know a person. They may like to call you motherfuckers. Excuse me. I didn't mean to say that. But they may need to like to call you motherfuckers and everything else too. And when you have differences with them, you never use cuss words. But this is how they get off. And you determine, man, I ain't nobody's motherfucker. Look, you disrespecting me. I can't deal with that. But this didn't come out until after the first year. Because the first year, they didn't even say, damn. That's all I'm saying. Some things come out on you. But anyway, y'all, I don't know. We've been on that question for an hour. And the debate, the debate was real. I don't know if y'all got something else to say, but I can't even ask another question because y'all didn't want me out. You didn't want me out. You didn't want me out with this one. Y'all got something else you want to talk about? Anybody?
Take a drink.
Anybody? What about one more out the door? Can you have great sex if one of you is selfish?
Can you have great sex if one is selfish?
Yeah.
How you can't get how you having?
John, I'm sick of you being all, you need to be in a problem today. How can you have great sex if one of you is selfish?
It's not going to be great. It's not even going to be sex.
Mm-hmm.
Selfish. And what is selfish?
Like if
what is selfish?
you're the type of lover that goes all in out and you are into pleasing your man or your woman. It's not about you just getting yours. It's about you giving them their satisfactions. As a matter of fact, you like to make sure they're taken care of before you get yours. Because you're not selfish like that. You want to make sure she cool or he good, and then boom. But when you're selfish, you're all about your own self. You want to get yours, you get it, you roll over. You're not worrying about if they got theirs or not. Because the thing is, if you didn't get yours when I got mine, okay, next time.
There's a joke. There's a joke. The guy
got the good one.
He gets with this lady. He goes and he picks up a call girl, and he goes back to her house, and so they go ready to have it, and right away he already finished, and he gets up, puts on his clothes, and she say, "Hey, you got yours. What about mine?" He said, "I left yours on the nightstand."
He left the money on the nightstand. That's not funny, John.
Oh, that was hilarious.
you know, that could have made her feel some kind of way.
She's a hooker. How can she feel any kind of way? She should hope it's on the nightstand.
You
That's
know what? Yeah, because she want to get high. But well, anyway, ha 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 for your joke. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, the point I was making was this. Can you have great sex if one of you is selfish?
Cordell
Yeah,
said
I
it's
mean-
not sex.
What is it, Cordell?
It's not sex.
It's
I'm
just
just saying, some-
selfish
You say
connection.
no. You're saying could two people that know each other, and there's one
I
that's
didn't say
selfish.
they had to know each other. See, you be
Well-
putting stuff all
well-
in it.
well,
They may be
I'll put
strangers.
it this way: they're two people, right? They're having sex. One does more than the other, right?
Right.
That ain't sex.
What is it?
Call it what you want, but it ain't sex.
I thought sex was just two people humping and doing the clap. But making love is something totally different.
It ain't sex.
But when you doing the clap, you're having sex.
If let's put it this way, I gotta put it. Let me see.
A Wi-Fi on accident.
If I'm baking a cake and I need help, but you don't help me, but you want to eat. Would you eat the cake?
You know what, Cordell?
Oh my God.
It's a lot of people who don't help bake the cake, but
If
they
one
want to
person-
eat.
I'm just saying if one person's doing all the activity and the other one isn't, how can it be sex?
What is it?
It ain't sex, it's just an emotion. It's just an action. It ain't sex.
What do you mean it's just an emotion? They're doing more than emotions. They're clapping. They're
They haven't-
clapping.
By your definition, they having sex, right? Right?
There's three ways. I can't say them all.
Oh,
There's,
Lord.
Wait a minute. We
there's
just
the
saying-
effing,
No,
there's
wait,
the
wait,
effing,
wait,
there's
a minute,
the
wait,
sexing,
no.
and
Not
there
even
is
that.
the love making.
Donna, it's based on two things. Male, female, female, male, whatever, right? If you have one participating party that's doing all the action and one person that's receiving it, but they're not complying, that ain't sex.
Well, is that effing?
That sounds more like rape.
Right?
One's doing all the action, right?
I said if one is being selfish. So they're
That's
both
selfish.
getting down with the action. It's just that one is into receiving instead of giving.
Still, I'm gonna say it again. To me, that ain't sex.
What is it?
Me personally, I'd rather not even have sex if that's the case. You want to call it sex? I don't want it.
Oh
There's-
my goodness.
There's effing, there's sexing, and there is love making.
As you
When-
said, right?
When do so? Wait a minute.
Y'all giving me a hard time.
Them are three what? Three what? Three
Read
words?
the hard way. I just said it.
Donna's definition is it's just
You said
only
them are three things you can define what?
There's effing, there's sexing, and there is
Love making.
love making.
What are them three things?
Me and Cordell was just saying, he was saying that it's not sex when one person is being selfish, because that means only one person is doing all the work. And I asked him, what do you call it then?
I don't know what you call it.
He said
It doesn't have a name.
it's not sex. And I say, well, there's effing, there's sex, and there's love making. Which one do you call it?
Well,
can't
sex,
call it love though.
sex and effing is the same thing.
Yeah, but you know,
Do you say would you say they the same thing?
It's what is sex? What is sex?
Sex is sex.
Okay, what is effing? It's just another word.
That's just a
Right.
raw dog
It's just
expression of,
another word.
yeah, same thing.
It's just another word.
And I'm saying if
Yeah,
one
okay,
person's
okay.
always doing it, the other person don't really want to do it,
I'm
or
sick of y'all tonight. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all just doing too much. Okay, Cordell, what is you saying? What is you saying? If they not doing,
Hey, I'll put it this way. Put it this way. If a man comes home every night, he wants to have, as you said, sexing with his wife. Okay, she don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. So he's an active participant, but she's not. So that's not really sex. That's him imposing his will on her. Say, hey, baby, I want you. I'm gonna take it. Is that sex?
no,
Okay. That's
that's
all I'm
not
saying.
sex. That's
It's not
taking.
sex.
That could be rape.
Because he wants to be satisfied. She don't want to satisfy him, but he wants to be satisfied.
These two people was being satisfied. I mean, they were both wanting to do this. This was not the one person didn't want to do it. It was just one person is selfish. They don't want to make sure you get yours. They want to get theirs.
Hey, baby, I got 3 minutes. I got to fold these clothes. I got to make dinner for kids. I got to do all this stuff.
Oh,
What you gonna do? Now who's being
Nobody
selfish?
gonna tell me they got no 3 minutes. That ain't how. That's not how you do it. We just ain't gonna do it if you telling me you only got 3 minutes.
I'm just saying. If the wife says I got 3 minutes, the husband says, hey.
But that's not being selfish. That's being on a time clock. I'm talking about being in the heat of the do, and you got somebody that's, is always that one that's going over and beyond, trying to make sure you right, and you just want to get yours, and that's it. And you all right with trying to help them get theirs, but they better get theirs while you in the midst of getting yours, because after that, it's a wrap.
Once again, I'm gonna still say it again. That ain't sex.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, what you call it then? I don't know what you call it. I don't know what to say.
Well, call it a dump and go. You want to put a title on it. He's dumping and he's going. Just call
No,
it something.
John, what you gotta say? What you
You
call
want
it?
to give it a title now?
What you call it, John? See, he's trying to be stubborn.
I'm trying to be what? Good
Stubborn.
Lord. One thing I am not selfish.
You a Taurus. I didn't say selfish. I say stubborn.
And I'm not stubborn.
Oh my God! You
I'm
are
not
a
stubborn.
Taurus.
What that mean?
Oh,
Just because I'm a Taurus don't mean I'm stubborn.
what you call it? What you
We
call
want
it?
to put stuff, here we go. We want to put stuff on time.
No,
Now we
what
want
you
to put it
call
on
it?
the side. Now we want to put it from time to the side.
No, Cordell said it's not called sex. I say, what do you call it, John?
Hey, look here. If someone, okay, what do we describe selfish? What? They don't
What I
do
just
what
said.
another person does, or I don't know. Do they just lay there? Is that what
They
we
not
call it?
looking out. They not looking out for you getting yours. Is what I'm saying. They all about getting theirs.
Well, they're not trying to, they're really just trying to get off. They're not trying to, you're really being used if that's the case. If a person just trying to get there, they just trying to dump it.
That's what I call it. Dump and go. Just dump and go.
We
You wanna
already
give
had
it a
that
title?
discussion. Remember the dumping grounds?
Right.
Yeah.
We had that discussion, the dumping grounds.
Okay.
I'm just here to dump it and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and some people are selfish like that.
Would you agree with? Would you agree with
I
that,
thought you
Cordell?
said
I
I
mean,
was selfish, Cordell.
Gareth, would you agree with that?
Well,
Is it the dumping ground?
yeah.
It's dumping. What else is it?
Okay.
And you got women who be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They come, grab on tight, get theirs, and keep it moving. And then he say, "Hey." Then the man say, "Hey, you got yours. Where mine?" She said, "Yours on the stove."
You know what? Oh, grown folks, this is what we do. This is what we do every Sunday, but tonight we doing it on Monday. Some
Oh,
we do it on Monday because they just be acting up. They be making my hair frizz and everything else, but I
Some
gotta
gumbo
love
on
them.
the stove. I want some gumbo, baby. I want some gumbo.
some gumbo, some gumbo.
You want some gumbo?
Uh-huh. Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Look at it.
gumbo.
She get hers and leave you a pot of gumbo. See you later, mama. See you when you get back, baby. Be careful out there.
Y'all need to stop it. Y'all
I
need to
can't wait
stop
to see what's on the stove tomorrow.
it. Maybe some chicken and dumplings.
Uh,
But anyway, I didn't say
okay,
nothing.
so look it. So if it ain't nothing on the stove, should you still be serving?
Heck yeah.
You should still serve, even
Because
when
if you serving it right, shit, we can order out. We ain't gotta always have nothing on the stove. If you serving it right, he ain't gonna care how he'll eat a pizza. Be like, baby, look, you serving it right. Let's order a pizza. It's all good. I know you gonna cook when you ready to cook, but you got a brother just going woo woo woo.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Now you got Garrett all puffed
There you
up.
go,
Look at
Gareth. Woo,
Garrett
woo,
with the whole
woo.
pizza.
See, we
Garrett,
know how to
up
do
on
it when you got them going woo, woo, woo.
got
He
Garrett
going woo, 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 and them toes is
look
curling
at
too.
this. Garrett about to go off camera, baby. Go order a pizza.
Yeah, he going to get him some pizza tonight. That's right. That's right. We all, I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm going to have to figure something out. But anyway, I want to end this show tonight. You guys, we have been over time with this. I do appreciate you and all you that are out there today after Christmas being with us on this Table Talk Grown Folk. I hope we didn't give y'all a headache, but this is what we do. Sometimes this is just what we do. We bring it to the table, we debate, we talk about it. Everybody's opinion is, I don't know, maybe they didn't accept mine tonight. But anyway, everybody's opinion is accepted, and even your comments. So like, share,
Really?
subscribe, hit
Was
that
that
bell.
shade? Was that shade you just threw?
Stop playing. Hit that notification bell so that you'll know when we do this. We do this every week, once a week, and I'm also on during the week. So you guys I want you to have a great week. We got Thanksgiving. We got
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, New Year's coming up. So we're going to be back on Monday again next week so that we can enjoy New Year's Day. I'll see you guys on the second Monday, 7:30. We'll be here for some grown folk talk. I'll remind you. And on that note, be grown or be gone. Thanks for everybody who chimed in. We'll see
Love and
y'all
love.
next time.
Love and happiness.
Love me, name
Love and happiness.
Love me, make you know.
Love and
Makes you
happiness
do
can
right
take you a
or
long
do
way.
right or
It
do
can take you
wrong.
2
Or
years.
like
It can take stop.